To post this video right before the end of the month so that I can finally break the streak of only been posting one video a month that I had this year. So let's see if I can actually do that. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. It is me, ya boy, out of ideas. Yeah, it took me like nearly 2 years and I've officially run out of ideas. So let's fucking go. I say this because today's topic is actually a sequel that I didn't even think that it would be a sequel, but let me explain. A few months ago, I made a video talking about a situation relating to Noisestorm and 311, a rock band who had used one of the tracks that Noisestorm had released, Heist, and copied it in Crossfire. Like I said in the video, the situation was resolved. There is no update on that because there is no need for an update. However, it is the source of the topic that we're talking about today. See, one of the things that resulted as, you know, a result of what happened here was Duality. You know Duality, right? I mentioned him on my Hollow Step video. I called him a good idol. I'm more than just a name LP mashup compilation hosted by my good idol, the only Pixel 19, aka Duality. I meant to say a good person and an idol. I do not know why I merged those two words at the same time. I'm fucking cringe. Duality had released a mashup of the two tracks, appropriately called Crossfire at the Heist. And on the comment section of this mashup on YouTube, a person said that Duality should probably do the same thing using J Cosmic's Ascend and Edelritter's Grand Slam. Now, I did not know anything about who Edelritter was when this comment first showed up a few years ago, but then I decided to go and listen to the track, and holy fucking shit, it's just Ascend. It's just Ascend. If you think that what 311 did was like wrong, then this is like a whole different fucking ball game, and let me explain to you in finer detail. So before we probably delve in and compare both of the track, we should probably talk about both artists because both of them have got very interesting stories behind them. J Cosmic has recently, and when I say recently, I mean a few years ago, so I don't know why I said recently, changed his name to Desert Star. This will be important to talk about just Ascend in general, but Desert Star, before joining Monster Cat, was actually really a lot deep into the house scene, having released tracks on labels like Spinnin' and Armado and Mainstream. I think that's the name of that label.
Incorrect. You stupid.
Now, it does not mean that he had just done house. He also did, for example, a hardstyle remix once, whilst on Reveal. That's the name of the label, yeah. But very much was deep into that house scene, that big room house scene, that commercial house scene, which makes his coming onto Monster Cat very funny because when he officially became part of the Monster Cat community, he debuted with a dubstep track, and not just any dubstep track, probably one of the best dubstep tracks I have ever heard in my life. I'll probably describe it a little bit more when I'm probably talking about the Copycat situation, but just so you know, I fucking love Ascend. It's one of the most underrated tracks because it just, no one really talks about when they talk about Monster Cat music or dubstep music in general, so it should be put in place. But let's continue on talking about Desert Star because then the story just continues to be more interesting because after releasing Ascend, Desert Star releases Ocean Eyes, which is synth pop, and then completely changes his style and his name to fit more that synth pop style. And again, this makes Ascend a more unique track. Now, Desert Star has unfortunately not been a type of person that would release a lot, but has released the track, I think October of last year. So if you want to listen to it, I'll be sure to put it in the description so that you know how Desert Star sounds right now. Edelritter is actually a duo comprised of two very big Japanese producers, those being Taishi and Tatsuya Fukumuro, also known as Enhato. Both of these artists have had a massive discography spanning multiple years, and they're really well known. I mean, Edelritter together actually shows up as the first result on Google. It's not like, you know, something else is masking them. They're pretty well known as a duo and separate each other. They've been present in a lot of things as both Edelritter and alone. They have been on multiple games. They have been present in doujin circles of very popular pieces of franchise. So again, very, very, very well-known people. Edelritter as a duo focuses more on producing music from the harder styles of, EDM. So hard style, psy style, that type of music. And you definitely hear it on the first EP that they released, Incineration, back in 2017, which is where Grand Slam is situated. Again, in an EP where a lot of the songs might be hardstyle, it is kind of a breath of fresh air to sweet dubstep track in this. But again, this is where you see the problems. So let's actually talk about the tracks themselves and why I believe that this is also a situation that should probably be talked about a little bit more. So first of all, let's talk about the track that I believe can serve as a basis for this, Ascend. When I said before that it is one of the best dubstep tracks I've ever heard in my life, I am not joking. Ascend is perfect. It really is closer to the type of music that A5 would do, which makes it a lot more interesting than when checking the rest of Desert Star's discography. First of all, I cannot not talk about the ambience and the world building that this track has, with the usage of orchestral sounds and, choirs to really set the tone immediately. The vocal chops in the intro don't detract from anything. They really highlight the world building on this. And then you get hit with one of the best build-ups, straight from that first impact with the synth coming in, and then the hardstyle-esque sound that shows up with the 808s just blaring through. Then a really, really, really good transition from the build-up to the drop that has such an insane flow, great sound design, great festival-like ambience with the cheering in the back that really does, again, help fill in the track more. Then a great switch up to a slightly slower flow with, again, perfect sound design. Going back to a mid-section that really sets the tone again of that sort of world building that the intro was working for another great build-up to be made. And then that final drop that is... Let me talk about that final drop. In an age where nearly every single dubstep producer was doing 4-on-the-floor second drops to have a cheap way to build hype for that drop, Desert Star is able to make that type of trend actually fit and serve as a great final drop for the track. It doesn't feel out of place, it doesn't feel cheap, it doesn't feel forced, it feels in place. And it's something very difficult to do when you're doing very trendy things to do. It's just an amazing track that I believe deserves to be spoken about more. And again, very, very sad that this track doesn't get that much attention anywhere, from the Monster Cat community to the dubstep community to really EDM in general. More people should be talking about this track. Which is why I believe that Grand Slam is extremely fucking disappointing in how it just rips it off. Straight from the intro of the track, they try to mimic that sort of style of world building with very, very similar sound. The only real differences that I can find in the intro is the fact that there is a slightly more hard-styly intro before the orchestral bit, but once that orchestral bit hits, you get a very, very similar feel. Then you get to the build-up, which doesn't sound that much like Ascend. The drop... The fucking drop. Let me get my phone again, because let me tell you one quick thing. See, this track was actually released on Tasty Networks on YouTube, and the comment sections were quick to point out that the track was very similar to Ascend. One comment though kind of pissed me off a little bit because it's just complete denial. Let me read it to you. Why in the hell are people comparing this to another song? Ascend and Grand Slam sound nothing alike. If anything, the only similarity they have is in the main synth. Here's both of the first drops mashed by ya boy to show how this comment is lying. You see now? They're the same fucking song. How the fuck do you hear that and not think that they're a copycat? Like, what the fuck? And then it just continues. Like, honestly though, there are some parts here that I can talk about that are not the same. Like how the double drop on Grand Slam goes into trap and then hardstyle, whilst Ascend still sticks into dubstep. But even then, the sound design is extremely similar. Even with the genre switch, they still copy, for example, where the synths are, the flows, the type of synths. Again, here they are, both compared to you. Can you notice the similarities? Please tell me, because I'm losing my mind over this. Then comes the final drop. And you know, yeah, you can talk again about how the orchestral bit in the middle is not the same, it's not exact, I don't fucking give a shit. The second drop is literally, shut your bitch ass up, phone. The second drop of Grand Slam is quite literally the final drop of Ascend just turned into hardstyle. It's the same drop again. And whilst, yes, technically Grand Slam is different because it goes into dubstep a bit earlier, again, the synths are placed in the same place, the flow is still the same. No matter how many times you do slight switches to show that they're not the same song, they're still the same song, they still sound the same. It's too obvious for me to not say that they're the same song, or at least there's some sort of copy made around here. And the reason why I say that this is different than the situation relating to 311 and Noisestorm is because we don't really know how the fuck this happened. I say this in a sense of, I mentioned in the 311 video that the lead singer talked about how one of his friends showed the track and either they forgot to take it out of like a jam or something, or decided to make that. There was a reason that this is how this situation happened. And Noisestorm, well, just said, you know, hey, no worries, there is no problem, there is no bad blood. And like I said in reference in the video, now if you go to the writing credits of the track, Noisestorm is in the credits. So it ended up on a light note, but this flew under the radar. And at the same time, it's not like it's a band from a completely different genre trying to, you know, have a fresher sound. No, this is someone in the EDM community copying someone else from the EDM community. This is just really bizarre how this type of thing happened. And again, I talked a lot about how much of a discography both of the members of Edelritter has. It's because I've actually heard one or two of the tracks that they've made, and they are capable of coming up with original things. So to see a track like this just being a complete copycat of a different one, and that one being one of the most underrated tracks I've ever heard in my life, and a track that deserves a lot more respect than it has, I mean, it's just disappointing, really. Thankfully though, by the looks of it, it seems to be the only time that Edelritter has done something similar to this. I listened to a little bit of the other tracks that they've made, and again, they're more focused on, you know, hardstyle and techno and all that jazz. So I don't really think that, you know, we should really judge them on a Grand Slam alone. I still believe that, you know, they're a really good duo and that they still deserve to be listened to even with this small little blemish in their discography. And again, Grand Slam is a good track that just gets completely overshadowed by the fact that it's a copy of Ascend. Yeah, that's just really my opinion. Just a really sad track that could have been a lot more if not for the fact that it just copied one of the greatest dubstep tracks I have ever heard in my life. Yo, what's up guys? A future JP Keys here. I have just finished editing my Grand Slam video, and I was trying to get the socials for Edelritter, the people that made Grand Slam, for something that I will say in just a few moments in the video. And as I was doing that, I discovered one very little funny thing, which is that Grand Slam is no longer present on the Incineration EP. Remember when I said early on in the video about how, according to the track list, Grand Slam was there? Well, according to Apple Music, it's not there anymore. It's no longer there. Plus, it was re-released apparently in 2021. So that's already two big pieces of information. And you might think to yourself, oh, this is just like an Apple Music thing. No! Spotify also says there is no Grand Slam
on this EP, and then it was released in 2021. So, what the fuck happened? Did like Monster Cat go after Edelritter and like ask for the track to be removed because of the similarities? Because I did not know about this. I just thought that Grand Slam was still on the EP. That's why it was so difficult for me to find it when I just wanted to listen to it outside of it, because it's just gone.
So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Like I said, I will try to see if I can post this before the month ends. If not, well, shit. But I will try my best to get this video as quick as possible. I actually decided to post this mashup on my SoundCloud. It will also be in the description down below. So if you want to listen to it, and if SoundCloud decides to not copyright claim this one, like it happened with the Christmas Drillings similar Outskirts remix of Lotus Overture, which I still have to resolve. I will be quick on that as well. You can go down there, you can listen to it, and I hope that you enjoy it in the same way that I hope that you enjoyed this video. And see you next time. Well, I will probably go after a specific French DJ.